How did we manage to screw this up? And when I say we, I really mean, I guess me a little bit to a certain degree. I know I put sports card investors in the title of the video, but really it's probably more of like flippers, because I know there's going to be some long-term holders for the stuff I'm going to be talking about, but a lot of it really has been a big time flip opportunity.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
So what are we talking about? Women's basketball cards. We all missed it. I shouldn't say all, because I had people I remember in the off-centered chat as well as in comments asking me, hey, what do you think about Caitlin Clark cards? I've been picking up some Caitlin Clark cards over time, and I didn't really think of it. It was a pocket of the hobby that I missed for a kind of a short-term play. I completely missed it. I don't own any Caitlin Clark cards, and I never have.
School's closed. It's a holiday, you dumbasses.
Before we go further, huge thanks to today's video sponsor, My Card Post. Speaking of Caitlin Clark cards, you can find them here, women's basketball cards. Really cool features on this where you can buy, sell, trade. There's a forum there where you can reach out to people and say, hey, I've got this or I've got that. Or you can post, hey, I'm looking for this or that. All sorts of different features and cool stuff. The first subscription-based platform to sell. Buyers can buy for free. You can sign up to be a buyer, buy for free, but sellers, there's a monthly subscription that ranges from $9 to $22 a month, depending on how many listings you've got. Totally worth it though when you look at how much it costs to go through and sell something through eBay. You pretty much spend $9 on one transaction. So definitely check out my link down below for My Card Post. All right, we talked about this on a video going back last week. I think we were talking about cards that had risen, and Caitlin Clark being one of those. Honestly, out of all the short-term flip opportunities, maybe you can pick out a baseball prospect here or there. Maybe you can pick out some of the Bowman U stuff. But, I mean, for the most part, this has been the big gainers. If we look over the last 12 months, and not even just Caitlin Clark, but also other women's basketball players that are in this Final Four, Elite Eight, there's some kind of up-and-comers, and their first Bowmans are going for some serious money. So like a lot of people, I had not watched Caitlin Clark up until they played LSU going back, a few nights ago now, and I was thoroughly impressed. She actually does remind me, her game reminds me a lot of Steph Curry. She also does kind of like a Luka Doncic step back three. Great passer as well. So that was one thing that stood out to me. She really sees the court way better than everybody else on the court. You can see that. One thing I heard that was really interesting is she's not even believed to be the best player in the country. UConn's got a good player, and then South Carolina, I believe, is undefeated. So there's a lot of talk about Caitlin Clark and kind of what she's doing, and she's amazing, but there's other great players as well, and they've got cards that have been moving on up. It's something that I completely missed the boat on, but the one thing it did kind of teach me as I was looking at this is don't be afraid to look into other pockets for short-term flip-type opportunities. You know, looking for kind of these diamonds in the rough, or just trying to anticipate a little bit, where are we going to see, some hype or just news around, certain players as they're up and coming, and do they have, inexpensive rookie cards or first Bowmans or whatever it is. We're now living in a different world where, you used to just have baseball prospects where it was like, okay, we're collecting basically like minor league players and then they get called up and so forth. Now, given the fact that you've got nil deals going out to a lot of these college athletes, now you've got Fanatics and Panini are signing on guys and gals that are freshmen in college. Some of these folks haven't even stepped foot on their first day of college, let alone played a game, and now they've got, an exclusive deal with Panini or with Topps, for cards. So this is a really interesting twist on the hobby here over the last few years. We've always had kind of the draft picks cards that come out right before, like, Prism draft picks comes out before regular Prism. They sell nicely, and then, of course, when the NBA unis come out or whatever it is, then they go down in price. I remember this happened with Tyler Hero going back a few years, and I did kind of buy and sell some Tyler Hero cards in his Kentucky uni, but then, of course, when he went to the Heat, he had all of his Prism rookies, and that stuff, goes by the wayside to some degree. We have a much longer runway for these college products now. And so that kind of, it's exciting in a sense to where it's not just baseball prospecting where you're looking at these first Bowmans and that sort of thing. Now it's everywhere. Now it's all sorts of different sports, which is cool because it does add, again, it adds a little bit of flair to something that I had not really been paying a lot of attention to up until a few months ago, where I started buying these up-and-coming QBs because the NFL draft is going to be an exciting one. I've been buying the Bo Nix and the Drake Mays and the J.J. McCarthy's going back really kind of right before the Super Bowl, and looking to move out of those here over the next 6 months. Just a fun kind of short-term play to help fund long-term type stuff. But lesson learned here, where I do not want to make this mistake again, looking outside the box, trying to anticipate the news on some of this stuff. And again, not that everything's going to hit the same way that women's basketball kind of took off here over the last little bit. Caitlin Clark has become this phenom here over the last 12 months, and she's in the news, and there's a lot of excitement around her. I was looking too at this LSU-Iowa game that I watched, had something like 13 or 14 million viewers, and I was thinking to myself, how does that compare to the NCAA men's? Because I haven't watched one NCAA men's game yet. I just don't. Honestly, there's not anyone that I really need to watch. There's not an up-and-coming prospect I'm really excited about. And so I haven't watched really much of any college basketball on the men's side. And I've watched more women's at this point. But I saw the Elite Eight game, I think it was NC State Duke. Now, granted, it was on Easter Sunday, so a lot of distractions. It broke a record for the amount of viewers on an Easter Sunday, and it was right at 15 million viewers on Easter Sunday. So it broke a record for Easter Sunday. But look how close that was between Iowa and LSU, the women's, versus the men's game, where, of course, it's a trip to the Final Four. You're always going to get good, solid viewership there on the men's side. And the women's ratings rivaled the men's ratings, which really surprised me because in years past, that has not been the case, not even close. So this is interesting to watch. What do you guys think about this? Are you going to be speculating on more of kind of the college prospects coming up for your short-term plays? Now, guys, I'm not talking about, look, I'm not buying these sorts of things to hold on to for 20 years. I like the fun of being able to see if there's some volatility, if I can get in cheap enough on an autograph or a fractor or whatever it is, and then being able to move off of it if that player happens to work out, or who knows, they're in the news, they got huge endorsement deals. It's a new world out there now with these draft products and how the nil deals have really expanded it out to where, I think I saw Angel Reese for LSU, she has 2.7 million followers. I don't know if it was Twitter or IG or whatever, maybe it was IG, but that was more than double, I think, what Caitlin Clark had. And Caitlin Clark's all you hear in the news. But my point is that, you know, these college athletes are really becoming more front and center along with the pro athletes. And you see it too. Michael Rubin Fanatics, I saw they're doing some sort of event at a college. Which college was it that they were going to? Maybe it was LSU. So there's a lot of focus around getting these draft prospects. When I was at Topps Rip Night, where Tom Brady was, they had Ron Harper's son had just signed on to play basketball at, the college in New Jersey, Rutgers. He's going to Rutgers. And he was there doing a signing and doing an appearance. He's already signed a Fanatics deal, and this kid is not even, I don't even think he's played one quarter for Rutgers yet. So interesting times. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So many sports card flippers investors missed the boat on Caitlin Clark and women's basketball cards. Or did you actually see this and do really well on these? Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.